welcome back to another Secure Real Estate Q&A. Again, this is our designated broker, Charlie Allred, and one of our top realtors, Angelica Gonzalez. Okay, ladies, my question for you today is, what goes on in the short sale process?
Okay. Well, we have a whole list of the items, the step-by-step, so we'll go through them.
Step 1, the first thing you have to do is list your home with an experienced short sale realtor.
So you want to make sure that you ask your realtor some basic questions. And we actually have this, we have a list of these if you want them from us. But we have some questions that you'd ask them to make sure that your realtor knows what they're doing and they've dealt with the bank before and they're going to follow up on a regular basis.
Follow-up is key. You definitely want to make sure that you ask as many questions to them about their follow-up process. Do they do it daily? Do they do it weekly? Or do they just do it when they feel like they should? Because you want them to be at least doing it weekly at the minimum.
Absolutely.
Step 2, complete all the paperwork that we require and that the bank requires.
Yep. So we went over this in a previous video, kind of the paperwork, basic paperwork for a short sale. So collecting all of that paperwork pretty much during the listing appointment and getting everything together, and then as the seller, keeping your new bank statements and new pay stubs every month so that when we need them updated, you have them ready to go.
Yes. Step 3. This is actually a new step for the process for everyone, and it's and what we do is we send in your paperwork to the bank, and now that there is a government program that you may qualify for to get seller relocation money. So this is important, and we want to make sure we have all the paperwork ahead of time so that we can do that.
Yeah, so because it's a new step, the only thing that's really changed is we're sending in your financial paperwork ahead of time before we have an offer. So this way we find out if you qualify for the government program, the HAFA program, or not.
Right, so that's why you definitely want to get us that paperwork as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. Step 4. Well, this is just the waiting game. This is let's show the house as many times as we can and never deny anyone a viewing if you can, and let's get an offer on the house.
Yep, get a buyer, get an offer. We need to sell the house.
Okay. Sorry,
Sorry, I didn't have anything else to add.
Yeah, that's good. Step 5, you submit all the paperwork. Once you have the offer, you submit all of that paperwork, because there is a considerable amount, and the purchase contract and all the addendums and all of that to each lender that you're dealing with, if there's 2 loans on the property or if there's just one.
Yep. So the only thing that's really changed in this paperwork submission is the offer and your HUD settlement sheet, which shows how much the bank will make off of the sale of your home.
And the HUD comes from escrow, and you don't need to worry about that. That's our job. Mm-hmm. Step 6. Excuse me. Busy realtor, right? Okay. Step 6. We're going to be in negotiations with the lender. There will be a considerable back and forth between us just to make sure they have everything they need from us, from you, and it could be a long time. This could take up to 30, 45 days, in some cases 60 days, depending on the lender, and none of this do we know until we get into the process. We can't tell you ahead of time how long this will be.
So this process is, I would say, the biggest waiting game. We've submitted everything we can to the lender, and we're waiting on their decision, their questions, if they'll need anything else. Basically, really, we're waiting on their approval, but it's a negotiation, and sometimes you're just kind of waiting in line to get a negotiator and to also get them to send someone out to value the home, the BPO.
Step 7 is the approval or the counteroffer from the lender. This is the step we're all waiting for. This is either the lender says yes, the offer is acceptable and we will accept it, or they say no. We need more money, or we need more time, or something. They counteroffer. Now, in all of our paperwork back in the purchase contract, it'll say that the buyer can, refuse the counteroffer or not. So you don't need to worry about that. But this is the step where we find out what's going to happen with your house.
Yep, absolutely. So we're just, again, that approval or the counteroffer is what we're waiting for. Essentially, we're trying to get to that approval point.
Yeah. Step 8, the buyer does their inspection and gets their loan together.
Yeah, so once we have that approval, it's really the buyer's work happens. They get their inspection done, they work on their loan, and really we just work toward the next step.
Which is close of escrow, which is this house is sold. This could happen It's typically 2 to 3 weeks after we get the approval letter because of the inspection period, making sure that the financing, if the buyer is getting financing, is in place. So it's always about 2 to 3 weeks out from when we get the approval letter.
Yep, so it becomes a real sale at that point, and the buyer has their home and the seller moves out, and it works out perfectly.
And that's it. That's the short sale process in a nutshell.
Great. Thanks, ladies. That was super informative. I will see you next week, same time, same place.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay, bye.